Let me delve into the Niviane album a little bit.
Sure.
Queen of Phantoms. What is there any kind of concept behind that? And maybe talk a little bit about the actual songs and the lyrical content of the album a little bit.
Yeah, we can do that. So Queen of Phantoms, it's not a concept album by any means, but the song itself, we have a friend named Kristen, and on our first album we have a song called Address to You, and on the second album we have a song called Niviane, and they're both about like females. Right. One's a deity, one's a mythological, and she's like, oh, she's from a Celtic background, Irish, and she's like, you should write a song about Morrigan,
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about that, so I took the idea and I read up on this Celtic goddess, deity, demon, shapeshifter called Morrigan. So initially the song was called Morrigan, then it was Morrigan, Queen of Phantoms, and then when we named the album, we just dropped it to Queen of Phantoms. But that's what the song is based off of. We stuck with straight up power metal. Let's write about mythological goddess demon shit, right? Then there's a two-parter. So the second and third song are both called 12 BC. One's called Legions, one's called Germania. And that's about the Romans invading the Germanic tribes in 12 BC and the battles they would have there. So Sabaton would be very proud. I went ahead and did a historical two-part song thing. But beyond that, we kind of, on this album, I didn't want to just do all history and mythology and stuff. So, A Beacon in the Darkness, Some Wounds Don't Heal, Tomorrow's a New Day. Those are all, more feeling-based, life stuff. Tomorrow's a New Day has to deal with, mental issues and depression and suicide and all that stuff. And Some Wounds Don't Heal is about losing someone that is, close to you in life. And now sometimes time doesn't heal. It might help, but it doesn't. And so then we've got a song called Event Horizon, which is just about the movie, So it just
one of the most underrated science fiction movies ever. In fact, Paramount Plus had it on there forever, and that movie's incredible. It's like a great mix of horror and sci-fi.
Absolutely, it's a perfect crossbreed of the two. But yeah, so for this album, I didn't limit myself lyrically. I'm like,
sure,
wrote a song called Gunslingers and Graves about the Old West and shootouts and stuff. I'm like, hey, why not? I think Ordnogan did, the gunmen and stuff. So like
they did, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, we don't need to be pigeonholed into one little thing. Let's make it where we can write whatever we want. And that was forward thinking because I was already, like I said, working towards the next album.
Sure.
Which, I like to branch out and I want to make sure that I'm never handcuffed.
So, out of curiosity, we'll come close to ending it here in a little bit. If they want to order any of those Niviane albums, how would they go about doing that?
So if they're in Europe or Asia or anywhere that's not in the Americas, I would go straight to Rock Shots Records out of Italy because they're the label and they have the bulk quantity there for distribution. Now, if you're in the Americas and you don't want to pay crazy shipping costs and tariffs and all that other fun stuff, they can just order from my website, normanskinner.net. And I'm always running crazy deals. I think like right now, if they order my last solo album, they get to pick like a free album. So like they could get the new Niviane for free by buying my new. So I think that's one of the deals on there. But like every 2 weeks, I change the deals on there. I think like 2 weeks ago, all shirts were like 30% off for all the bands. But yeah, I got lots of merchandise on my store from all my past bands and current stuff, except Forbidden. There's a link at the top that says if you want Forbidden, it takes you to the store. Because I don't handle any of that, obviously.
Yeah, I'm looking at your site. It says the Metal Chameleon.
Oh yeah, that was a nickname I got when I first started out in the late 90s. I was doing somebody did a review of a show or an album, and because I'm versatile in my style, it's not that I have a wide vocal range or anything like that. It's the fact that within a song, I will change my voice 3 to 4 times, to paint the picture of what I want. And they said I sound like a metal chameleon. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then somebody else published Metal Chameleon, then someone else. So I was like, all right, I'll own that one. That's pretty cool. How often do you get a nickname? So.
Yeah, I needed. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I've never done this during an interview before, but I just bought a hard copy of the album.
Right
so I've never actually ordered and bought anything while I'm interviewing somebody, but now, if you want to laugh, now I'm actually doing it right now in real time as I'm sitting here. I've never done this before, so you're like the first person that I've done this before. But the one click thing from PayPal always works.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, which is what I pretty much did. But yeah, no, cool, man. I think that this Niviane stuff has actually been. I've always liked it because it was so much different than what you normally have always done, and it's sad to see the band go. Actually, when I saw the announcement, it was kind of like, man,
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope. It's interesting, right? Because the guitar player that quit Niviane was Gary Tarpley. He wrote about 75% of the music. However, he and I are working on my solo stuff. Okay, so, but the other guitar player, Mark Miner, I asked him if he wanted to carry on, and he said not without Gary. So,
hold on a second here.
No worries. But I mean, the door is still always open. I mean, if these guys want to write a song and put out a single, I mean, you know what I mean? I'm leaving it wide open. Never say never. I've learned that for sure.
Interestingly enough, what's funny about this is that as I'm doing this, when I went and bought this site, it actually crashed my freaking interface for some odd reason.
Oh, wow.
Man, it's like it doesn't want me to buy the record. It's really really bizarre because it went blank here, which normally I won't do. But I'm gonna keep that on here just because for humor's sake. But yeah, it legitimately just like my whole interface crashed while doing this, and but I successfully ordered the album. And I had to sacrifice about a minute because it probably cut you off too. Who knows? But I finally successfully ordered it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
But anyhow, we'll end it off there actually. And any last words for people that are going to be, what can they expect from the new Forbidden album? And any last words for people out there that maybe are going to be checking this out?
No, I just thank you to anyone that is checking out anything that I've done. I always promote my past and current stuff because in some way or shape or form, I'm proud of everything I've done. I mean, It made me where I am today. But for Forbidden fans, you got a new song that's going to be released within a month or two, and it'll be all over everywhere. Be gentle, please. But besides that, I will be in the studio tomorrow and the day after tomorrow to do 2 more songs. We've only written 3 that are for the whole band. There's other songs in the works.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a full album, but we're just doing them as we go. And then, of course, we got the full European run in August. We got some things planned for fall. And it looks like next year is going to be a ton of touring. I mean, I hear we're going to be touring a lot. So there's going to be lots of chance to see Forbidden out and about. So between touring and writing and releasing this new album, that's it. I will be working on my new Skinner solo stuff, so there's that to look forward to at some point. And then I also have another recording project which is more symphonic metal and stuff. So I always got something. I already got some irons in the fire, different things.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, it was always fun. It's always fun to have you on, and definitely it's a blast learning about not only some of the stuff you've done in the past, but to get a little bit of a preview of what the new Forbidden might bring us as well.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.